Hi, Joyce.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Casey,
Nice to
and
meet you,
it's
Casey.
nice to meet you too. Nice to have you here.
Yeah,
So,
it's
can
my
you introduce yourself to our community?
right. I'm Joyce, and I am a social media marketer. I help businesses and brands build thriving community online, and also monetize that community into money. Yeah, I mean monetize their community. Yes,
Okay, I like that. Thank you for being here.
it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
So, what do you have to tell us about storytelling? Because in this community, we are learning actually how to build an online presence, but not just any online presence, but a profitable one. Understand?
Okay.
And I believe storytelling has a very powerful impact on building an online presence, personal branding, and content creation. But so many people don't know how to go about it or how to start. Some people don't even know what storytelling is all about. So we want to learn all that from you today. Are you ready for us?
Yeah. I am.
All
I'm
right.
ready.
I'm
I'm
handing
ready.
the
I'm
mic
ready.
over to you. I'm going to mute my
Um,
mic now so we can hear you clearly.
that's fine. That's fine. I'm
All right.
ready. Okay. Are we good to go? All right. Good afternoon, everyone. It's like my pleasure to be here. I'm really excited to be here. So today I want to speak on stories that sell. How to use storytelling to become the go-to expert in your field. How to make sure that everybody sees you as somebody they want to work with, although not everybody will work with you, but every like your target audience feels like a connection with you. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen somebody on Instagram, maybe in your field, and you thought, oh my God, how are they getting all this attention? How are they, how is their page growing? I've watched people grow from 1,000 followers to 10,000 followers to 20,000 followers to 100,000 followers. And you're like, oh my God, how do they do it? Like you can see that with their followers growth, their life too has been growing. Like, okay, they got a new apartment, which means that people are working with them, people are buying their services. It's not like they are louder. And sometimes they are not even as experienced as you are, but they have something that makes people trust them, that makes people follow them, that makes people want to buy from them over and over again. And that thing is stories. Because look at our environment these days, the world of social media today, like there is a lot of content to consume, like a lot of content to consume. So you must make sure that people want to consume your content, and not only want to consume your content but also to buy from you. Even though there are like a lot of content to consume, there are still some people that they are stuck on this one person's content and they cannot get enough of it, and they come back every time to get in more and more. And why is that? Stories. People don't buy information. Now we know that your content should educate, informate, be informate and whatever, be valuable. But information, the value, the education must be wrapped into storytelling. If you are not telling stories alongside educating, information and all of that stuff, you're just going to go unheard. So you can have the best offer, you can have the best offer, you can have the perfect branding, you can even have like a really good strategy. But if people don't feel connected to you, if they don't feel some sort of connection to you, they won't choose you. they will not choose you. It's not like, don't think storytelling is about impressing people, because yeah, I know some people would like, oh my god, I don't have a good space. I've not. I get that too, even with myself. Oh, I want my space to be like this first before I start telling stories about my life. I want my content to look like this, which is good. But your content will not look like that if you're not making any money, because it is from making money that you'll be able to upgrade your lighting, upgrade your phone, upgrade your space. And the reason why you're not making any money is because you are not creating that content that you are waiting for money to create. It's just like saying you need to do this to make money. And you're like, oh no, I don't want to do that. I want to do that when I have money. But to have the money, you actually need to do it. So it's not about impressing people. It's about making people feel connected to you. It's about making people know you. It's about making people like you. When there are some people on Instagram that they don't have aesthetics. There's this girl, I think her name is Happiness or something. She doesn't have aesthetics. She lives in a one bedroom. She even her room is not that furnished and all of that. But people watch her content, and right now, house is back. She has upgraded, and what upgraded are storytelling. But the end goal for any grow on social is to be.
I think the network got bad. We lost you. I can't hear you anymore. Okay, while we wait for her to reconnect, let me just keep holding the ground. Talking about storytelling, everyone connects more to stories. People are wired that way. People love stories. And you don't wait till you become perfect, till you've already built an online presence before you start telling stories. You start telling stories, and then that way you build your online presence. Okay, so as we wait for her to come back, let's just let me tell you a story. So most times when you create content, whether you're writing or you're using audio or videos or graphics, if you check your analytics, you will notice that those contents you told stories sold the most. Even your popular content creators, your favorite content creators, if you check their content with the most views, are usually content that they start with stories. But then there is a formula to this. We're not just saying, oh yeah, go out there and start telling stories. No. If you've been following this class on building an online presence, you remember that we started with the the aim, the goal in mind. So for every story you're going to tell, have a goal in mind. What do you want to achieve from this story? Know who you're telling the story, because everybody cannot resonate with every story. There are stories that mothers understand more. There are stories that teenagers relate to the most. There are stories that people that are teachers or people that are working in a certain field will understand better. So anytime you're telling your story, think about who is this story for. That is why you need to always have your target audience in mind. If you've not watched the video I made concerning you and your target audience, how to know your target audience, watch it so that it will be clearer to you. You need to have your target audience in mind while telling a story. So you ask yourself, and at the end of this story, what is going to be my call to action? What am I telling this story for? Why am I telling this story? What do I want to use this story for? What do I want my target audience? Not you, not you now, your target audience. What do I want my target audience to use this story for? Because whatever you're creating for a target audience. But then before all this, there's something that we called a brand story. Hello, Joyce. Are you there? Are you back with your network? Okay. So there's something we call the brand story, like the main story that all your stories will now emanate from. I always like to use a mechanobis as example when I want to talk about storytelling, like having a brand story. We all know, if you know a mechanobis that we call the Dawn, you'll be familiar with his story. That's brand story. That story he creates his entire brand around. That once upon a time he wrote a book and he was now looking for someone to publish it for him. And he met this publishing company, and this publishing company told him that, why should we publish your book when you don't have economic relevance? So he went home sad, but then he started thinking, how do I have economic relevance? How do I become a person that is economically important? That was now how he started building a social media presence, a presence online. He started building an online presence to the point that those publishing companies now ask him, like they use him as their brand ambassadors. They ask him to, you know, to come bring his book so they can publish for him. Because right now he's the one giving their book popularity, not them. No, he's the one giving their publishing company popularity. They're no longer the ones giving his book a value. So I'm sure you understand this story. So this is his brand story. Now, whatever he does, every other thing he does, they have their head. Like this story is the head, while the other every other thing is the back body. So you have to ask yourself, what's going to be my brand story? So that's where you're going to start from. What's going to be my brand story? So this story is going to be a story that you share. People will learn lessons from it, and from that lessons they learn, you're now going to give them a call to action. There has to be an action that they will take from the lesson that they learned from your story. So when Emeka Nobis tells a story, the lesson we are learning from there is that building an online presence gives you economic importance. Then he now calls us to action. Buy my course on how to build an online presence. Buy my course on how to build an audience that makes you money. Buy my course on how to make money from your knowledge using social media. So the story, the lesson, the call to action. That is how to tell your story. Let me check. Seems Joyce is back. Or network didn't allow her to come back. Wow. Wow. Network, we do this one. Oh. So how are we going to do this? You know my own story. I started creating content because I'll be right back. Hi, sorry about that. I don't know. I think Joyce is not able to come back. She lost her network connection. She's not able to come back. So I was saying that I started creating content because I love sharing knowledge naturally. Naturally, I love sharing knowledge. So I was a teacher. Just to tell you how much I love sharing knowledge, I taught for more than 5 years. Okay, they said we should stop saying 5 years. Over half a decade. For over half a decade, I was a teacher. So I love sharing knowledge. But then I wanted to go into business. But I needed to find a way to balance it, make impact, make money. How am I going to be doing this? Sharing knowledge, and then how am I going to be making money from it? That was how I found content creation. So I create content to sell my business. And then I create content to share my knowledge, to teach people, to encourage people. And what do I encourage people about? What do I encourage people about? It's just one thing. I encourage people to make their light shine, let their light shine. But I do this in different ways. First of all, I encourage people to learn a skill and become extremely great at it, because I believe that that is one way you let your light shine. You know, without your skill, you're doing something great, and people are like, wow, glory be to God, you're doing great. That is your light shining, right? I encourage people to let their light shine by letting go of limitations, the things that are limiting them, their fears, shame, anxiety, imposter syndrome, lack of confidence. Name them. The things that stop people from, showcasing the glory of God in their lives, from using their God given abilities, from blessing the world, replenishing the earth with that which the Lord has deposited in them. When you let those things go, you let your light shine. So this is my own, like, this is the center of my own story. Now, every other thing I share as I create content emanates from this very thing. Every other thing I share emanates from this very thing. So in I started an online school, Casey's online school, where I teach people how to build an online presence using personal branding and content creation. Okay. So is it still not the same thing that we are talking about? Build an online presence to make your light shine. All right, Joyce is back. You are welcome.
Oh my
You are
God, I
welcome.
am
Oh.
so sorry. I was just talking, talking, talking. I didn't even realize that I was not in the live anymore. Hey, Jesus. I was just talking. I just said, let me check if people have dropped comments. And I'm like,
Okay.
what's going on? I'm so sorry.
I even thought you lost your
Oh
network,
my
because
God.
I was telling you that we can't hear you anymore. But because your network went off, you could also hear what I was saying.
Yes, yes. Oh my God. So when did you hear me too? Because I was
Ah,
just talking.
like,
I've like
it's been
talked.
long. It's been long since you went off. The last time we heard you was when you were saying that you don't need to be aesthetically, pleasing before you can start your storytelling. Oh, it's like you've gone off again. Wow. Network, network. Ah, this is bad though. Okay. Huh. I just hope she realizes soon that she isn't on, so that she doesn't start sharing again when no one is hearing it. All right. So as I was saying, um, at Kisses Online School, we we talk about building an online presence. So, but not just building an online presence, but building a profitable online presence, an online presence that you can monetize, an online presence that makes you money. And storytelling is one thing that if you learn how to tell a story, your you can it will fasten your speed. It will increase your speed as you try to build an online presence. Joyce, please, if you can hear me, get back as soon as possible. So storytelling is going to make your growth faster because what grabs attention is stories. I once watched something that Dr. Aproko doctor said. He said that when he started sharing health tips, that nobody was actually listening to him. He even did radio programs that they didn't take him seriously. He had to ask, he had to beg to speak at events. He had to, like, nobody was actually listening to him until he started sharing those health tips as stories. That's why he will start with Emeka, come here. Mama Nkechi, come here. You understand? He starts it as a story. He doesn't just come and start sharing like, oh, you know, eating egg is good for you. You should stop eating bread. Try to drink water. No, because it's going to be very boring and people will not even care. Even though you're sharing something that people should care about, something that is about their health. But if you're not using stories, they don't care. They won't you won't get their attention. So storytelling helps you to get people's attention before you now come to the main point. So that is why you have to place your stories first. Your story, the lesson, and then your call to action. So let's just say I want you all to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I come and say, hello guys, I need you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. On this channel, I share helpful content that will help. No, 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 no. You may have swiped to another thing before I finish. You may have swiped to another thing before I finish. But if I start with something like this, I made $100 just in 2 days. You're becoming interested, right? Her. For years, I've been searching for, how to monetize my online presence, but I didn't find a way until I met Joyce. The story is becoming more and more interesting. You're not swiping, you're not using speed to swipe away. Joyce is back. I hope Joyce, I hope your network is going to be good this time around.
Yeah, I
What
changed
network are you
my
using? Please, let's drag them. Let's drag them.
it's MTN. No, I changed my
MTN,
network
please now.
first.
But I'm actually using MTN too, and it's been working now.
Yes, it has
Maybe
been two since morning. I don't know.
ah, ah. All right, you're going to start from
Yes.
beginning because we didn't hear anything.
Oh my God. Okay, okay, okay. That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, so can you hear me
Yes, I can
clearly?
hear you. Yes, yes.
Okay. Um, sorry. Let me just bring up my notes. All right. Um, so today I want to talk about um stories that sell, how to use storytelling to become the go-to expert in your field, how to ensure that people want to work with you, they want to consume your content, and they also want to work with you. So I will start by asking you a question. Sorry. I'll start by asking you a question. Have you ever looked at somebody in your field and thought, oh my God, how are they getting all of this attention? Like their contents are going um their content are going really good, they are growing, you can see them, they've grown from when you saw them last, they were on like maybe 15K followers, and then they are like 30K now, 20, like 50, 100, and you're looking at it like, okay, what am I doing wrong? And even as their followers are growing, you can see the evidence of growth in their life also, because you know that your followers can grow and you might not be growing. But as your followers are growing, you are also seeing that they are also actually growing in the sense that they are upgrading their workspace, they are upgrading their apartments, which means that people are actually buying what they are selling. I'm talking about people that are honest with it, right? So now you're wondering that how are they getting all of this attention? How are they moving out of, how are they moving this, how are they making these money moves? I will show you the trick that all of them use today. So I want you to pay close attention. So one thing I'll say is that they are not louder. They are not, it's not like they are loud or they are everywhere. They're not everywhere. And they are not even more experienced sometimes. That's the truth. You would have a chance to work with them or review what they've done, and you're going to be like, I can do this. I can even do it better. But what makes people go for them and not you? What makes people buy from them over and over, even though you can do what they are doing better? What makes people go for them over and over again is because they tell stories. They tell stories. Like, stories is what is going to make people look at you and be like, oh my God, I feel you. Story is going to make people look at you and be like, I can relate. Stories will make people look at you and be like, oh my God, this I'm going to like buy from this person. I'm going to like patronize this person. You see some people content on Instagram, like there's a lot of content. You look at Instagram, you look at TikTok, you look at Facebook, and there is a lot of content. Like, people are putting out content every other day. And you're wondering that with all of this content that there is, there are still some people that people die on their page. I don't mean die, but they sleep, they wake up, they on their page. Like, once they drop content, look at their comment section, everybody is raging, everybody is dropping, there's comments, there's likes, look at their views, they are getting 10k views, 100k views, a million views, and you're wondering that how are you doing it? This is because there is so much noise that if you want people to actually listen to you, you have to connect with them. You have to give them a reason to listen to you. You have to make them feel, oh my God, I can relate. Like, I can relate. I know that they've told us that, oh, your content must educate, it must pass some sort of information, it must be valuable. But I'm telling you that your content can be educative, can be informative, can be valuable, and still not hit your target audience. Because now people are not looking for, people are not looking for they're not looking for education alone. Like, there are a lot of ways they can be educated. Like, there's no new content that you want to create right now that somebody has not created before. There is no new thing that you want to say right now, no new educative thing, no new information that you want to put out right now that somebody has not put for. What makes you different is how you say it. What makes you different is you packaging all of this educative content, informative content, you putting it inside your story. Inside your story. That is what makes you different. If you are educating, you are passing information, and you're just passing information like blandly without stories, I'm telling you, I mean, you grow, yeah, but you grow at a very small pace, and you're going to feel the impact when it comes to making money for your business. Because the end point of being on social media, the end point for even being here on this live actually right now, is because you want to make more money in your business as an expert that you are. And so, as an expert, you have to start wrapping your content inside stories. So why is stories your superpower? You might have the best branding, the best offer. If, in fact, you might have a bomb ass strategy, but if people don't feel you, if they don't feel connected to you, they will not choose you. If people don't feel like, oh my God, this is me, this is what I'm going through right now, this is my life, like, they will not choose you. People will choose people that they connect to before they choose you. Connection is what makes people buy from you. What people crave, there's a lot of, like, Yeah, if you're a graphics designer right now, I'm telling you that there are a million and one graphics designers in Nigeria right now. If you are a copywriter, there are a million and one people who also use copywriting, who also do copywriting. What makes you different is connection. Why people would use you and not use somebody else is the connection that they have with you. It's not about impressing people, oh. Like, I mean, I made an example. Well, because I've already talked about all these when I was yapping, and I didn't even know that the session has my network has cut me off. So I know I said, do you know happiness on Instagram? There's this very young girl, happiness on Instagram. Like, you can, when she started creating content, you can clearly see that this babe had no, I don't want to say had nothing, not in a condescending way, but she practically had nothing. Like, she wasn't living in a well organized or well furnished apartment. It was just a bed and maybe a table or something. She didn't have all of the gear, she didn't have all of the money, but she was creating and she was telling stories. And people were like, oh my god, this is so real. Oh my god, this is so, I love this. This is real. I mean, you're not faking it. This is, and our page started growing. Our page started growing. And you can even see the growth in her whole life, because now she has been upgrading her space. She has moved from putting, she has changed her bed. She has like painted her room. You know, you can clearly see that not only is she growing in followers, but she's also growing in her life. So it's not about impressing people. You are waiting to make money before you start telling your stories. But the real thing is, to make that money, you need your stories. Do you understand me? It's like telling you that, oh, you need to create content so that people would buy from you. And you're saying, oh no, I don't have the right gears. I don't have my apartment, my workspace is not really fine. I don't have the I don't have, I don't have a aesthetic pleasing place. But the reality of things is, to actually upgrade your gear, to upgrade your workspace, you need money. So yeah, it's like you're saying that uh you need to grow, you need content to grow, but you don't want to start creating the content because you've not grown. But to grow, you need content. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. If you understand what I'm trying to say, please put it in the comment section that you understand. I don't know if I'm passing my information correctly. You need your stories to make money. So you waiting till you make money before you start telling your stories, it means you will not make the money. Like, I'm a living example. I used to think, oh my god, when I have a better apartment, when I was still living in a one room, I was like, oh my god, I didn't want to start telling my stories here. When I have a better apartment, I have a better apartment now. I'm still not saying the story. I'm still not, I just had that one day and I'm like, okay, if I keep on saying, when I have this, when I have that, I upgrade my gears every year. I upgrade my lightning every year. I buy my tripod stand. I buy all of this, and I'm not out there telling people my story. It made me go down. Like, I started struggling financially. I started, struggling with making ends meet, with meeting bills and all of that. Even the apartments I upgraded to, I started struggling with furnishing, with paying rent and all of that. And I realized that the money I want is in the work I am not doing. The money I want is in the stories I am not telling. So one day I said, fuck it. I said, fuck it. And I'm like, I'm going to just start creating with whatever I have at this position I am. And I'm sure that from that, and I'm going to grow. And guys, it is like magic. It's like magic. Once I started telling my stories just the way I want, just the way I am, everything changed. It was like a light bulb moment. Everything changed. Everything changed. So you don't need to impress people. You need to be authentic, because you want your own tribe. You want people that feel connected to you. You want them you want to attract them. So living a fake life will not attract them. Do you understand me? Living a fake life will not attract them. What is going to attract them? It's your authenticity. So forget about the aesthetic pleasing stuff. Forget about the good lightning. Start where you are. Start with what you have. Start telling your stories at the stage that you are. If you are in a stage where you are struggling, start telling your stories. Start saying, oh yeah, I'm struggling. Like nobody has ever died from struggling. By the time you struggle and you take people through your struggle, and um you take people through your struggle, and then you get to your transformation, you tell them about your transformation to people that have gone through, that are still struggling. They will be connected to you and they want to experience that transformation that you experience. And what will they come to give them that transformation? You. So let's move on. So psychology of why story works, right? When you tell stories, 7 areas of your brain light up. When you hear facts, you know that people drop facts a lot, like content is the money making machine. In 2020, people make 100 million from content. That's a fact. Content, you need to start creating content. Yes, okay, yes. But when you tell a story of, oh, this is where I was before I was creating content, and this is where I am now, it would bring out people emotions. It will bring out people memories. It will bring out decision making. And this is even what film writers do. Like I watched a movie recently, Ayilati by Damilola Woni. I'm telling you that I have never cried when I'm watching a movie before. I cried. This is not crying of, oh, a tear dropped. This was crying of emotions. Like I was, because I felt really connected to the story. I felt connected to the story. I felt like a light bulb moment in my head, and I'm like, what the fuck? In fact, after I watched that movie finished, I went on my knees and I started praying, because it's a faith based movie. So I went on my knees and I started praying. It's that story led me to make a decision, because deciding to go on my knees immediately and pray is a decision. And that is what you should help your audience to make. Your stories help your audience to bring out their emotions. That movie has been in my head since. I'm sure that look into your memory. You would remember one content I probably saw last week. Maybe it was funny, or switched something in your brain, and it is still there. You can still remember that content. It is storytelling. Storytelling helps people feel you. And when people feel you, they buy from you. When people feel you, they connect with you. And when they connect with you, they buy from you. So brings us to what makes a great story. Because let me tell you, you can be doing storytelling and you're doing it wrong. So what makes a great story? The first thing that makes a great story is the struggle, a moment your audience can relate to. It doesn't necessarily mean a struggle. It can also mean like a moment in your life or in your audience life. The struggle, a moment your audience can relate to. Maybe, oh, I was at a place. Give me maybe a copywriting. Let me use a copywriter. Say, okay, I was at a place where I was trying to sell this particular product, and it was not just working. I was doing this, I was doing that. And when we put out the sales copy, people were not buying, people were not seeing it. It felt invisible. That is the struggle. That is number one. Number two is the shift. What changed? What did you realize? The shift. What changed after that struggle? Okay, so when we realized that this sales script was not converting, I sat down with it and I audited it. I broke it down. I picked apart all the elements, and then I realized that this is not what the target audience wants. The story, the sales copy was not really talking, was not really eating my target audience needs. That is a shift. What changed? You've now realized that, okay, my sales script is not really hitting the point. And what did you do? Which is the transformation, which is the number three, which is the transformation. What did you do when you realized that your target audience are not, they are not being it? So I refined the sales copy, I added this, I subtracted this, and it brought in, by the time we put it back out, it brought in 10 sales within 5 hours. That is a transformation. Now, number four, the takeaway. What does this mean for them? Now, if you've been, if there's somebody that is listening to that story, that is a product business or a service business, and they've put out a sales copy, they've put out maybe a sales page, and their sales page is not converting, what does this mean for them? It means that, oh, if you can review somebody's sales page and change something in it, and you get 10 sales, and you get 10 sales within 5 hours of putting it out, then you can do this for me too. Makes them buy from you. Do you understand? It makes them buy from you. So one thing I want to tell you in this stage is that your all these stage of stories, it doesn't have to apply in one story. It doesn't have to be in one content. Let me give you an example of this lady on TikTok. I came across a page, I think sometimes ago. Now she wanted to build a brand. She wants to launch her business. Her business is, I think her business is hair care business or self-care business for people that suffer with hormonal imbalance. That was it. Now, this lady has put out, I think she has put out more than 30 content in relation to what what she wanted to do. And she started creating her content from when she was struggling to come up with a name. She started from her stories of, oh, how she as a woman experiences hormonal imbalance, and how she has realized that the self-care market in Nigeria, in the industry, they do not really care for women with hormonal imbalance. And this is what made her brand. This is what brought about the idea for her brand. Then in other content, she explained that, oh, hormonal imbalance means all of this to her. This is what she struggled with when she's dealing with hormonal imbalance, and this is why she is doing this. Not that she's still talking about the struggle she's facing. Now, she created another content when she was working on the product formulation, how they were looking for labs to formulate the products, how she wanted to get NAFDAC registration. Like, she took our audience, which is all of us, through every stage of that launch. I'm telling you that when you package a launch content into like a drive, you are going to be having maybe like 30 to 50 content, and everything was wrapped around storytelling of her building her business. When she went for a grant and she won the grant, I think it was a $5,000 grant or something. She took us through the process of, oh, she applying for that grant, oh, she what she faced, she on stage, how she knew that she was going to get this, when she was praying for God's intervention in her grant. Like, that is what a story is like. What I'm trying to tell you is that your story, especially if you are just growing, you don't have like that light bulb moment, you don't have as much transformation as you would like to show every time in your stories. Take people through a journey. Take them through a journey. Where you are right now, create stories, create content around where you are, what you are struggling with. What are you doing to change your situation? Create stories around that. Like if you are in a course, create stories around that course. Tell people what you learned on that course. Tell people what that course has done for you. Tell people how your experience, how is going. Once you're done with the course, tell people what came out of the course. Once you win your, maybe you make your first win, or you signed on a client, take people through the story of how you signed on that client. That is, if you're just coming up and you do not really have like all these transformations, or your clients have, you didn't really have any client that you're working with right now, or your clients have not have that transformation that you would like to share. Take people through the journey of your growth. Take people through the journey of your growth. I don't want to tell you that because people might think, oh, all of these four four things that make a great story have to be in one story. It doesn't have to be in one story. It doesn't have to be in one content. You can create a journey. That's why we say a content strategy is a journey that you take your audience through. Imagine somebody that came to your page when you were like, oh my god, I don't know what next to do, and this is what I am doing, this is what I have, this is what I'm struggling with. And the person saw your content again when you're like, oh, I signed 2 clients today. Won't they feel connected to you? They'll feel like they're a part of your life. They'll feel like they're a part of your stories. And what do we say we want people to do? We want people to feel connected to us. We want people to feel connected to us. So this brings me to 4 stories every expert should tell. 4 stories that you should be creating right now. For if you are worried that you don't have any story, like, oh, that's what I said earlier. If you are worried that, oh, I've not had that light bulb moment, or I'm just a beginner, I don't know, I don't have any story. You have stories. You have stories. The stories that what happened in your secondary school, you can relate it to what is happening right now. All you need to do is sit down and find a connection between your stories and your brand. Find a connection between your story and your brand. Find a way to relate them together, and you have a story. Don't ever say, I don't have a story to tell. You have a story to tell. So, what kind of story can you tell? Number one, you can tell your origin story, like how you started, why you started, the struggles you are going through, why you started. Your origin story. For example, I am a marketing strategist. I'm going to create a content. One of my content that I'm going to be creating right now, I want to create a story of how I feel during my marketing agency. I've been working on my marketing agency for like a year now. And I think 2 days ago, I got on a call with my business consultant, who is also my mentor, and I had her audit my brand. I had her audit my content, my messaging. And she was like, Joyce, you have to go back to the basics. You have to go back to the basics. You have to go back to the origin. You have to redo all of these things that you are doing. I felt so sad. I felt like I've been working on this thing for so long. What do you mean I have to go back to the beginning? That is a story. I am going to create a story on that. That is a story. Why you started what you started, what pushed you into learning digital business, what pushed you into looking for a source of income on the internet. That is a story. That is your story. Those are the kind of stories that you should be creating. Then another story that you should be creating is I almost quit story. Like what you survived, the struggles. Okay, when I started this learning on the internet, one thing I struggled with is you're using money to do data, or maybe light issues, or maybe your habit, it might be that you struggled with your habits. You were not really a wake up 5 a.m. person, but you had to okay, when you faced a particular time when you were taking your course, and it looked like you were going to fail this course. It was hard. People, you had to reach out to people. It was pushing you out of your boundaries. You almost quit. All those struggles that you are experiencing right now, they are stories. Tell them. They are stories. Tell them. Now look at it. If you start with origin story, you're talking about, oh, this is what I started, what I started, this is what I am doing right now. People will look at you, will see you, and they'll be like, this person is actually, they actually want to do something for their life, and they will follow you. They will start following your stories. Is there are a lot of people, I'll tell you, like most of your clients are not your followers. Most of your clients will not even follow you. When you look at your following list, you will not see them there. By the time they approach you and say, well, I want to work with you, and you go and look at your followers, they are not there. You realize that they're not even following you. But what you would know is that when you ask them that, oh, how did you now get to, how did you decide to work with me? They will tell you that, oh, I've been following your story, but they don't follow you, but they've been following your story. It's very, very possible. I have some people on Instagram that I don't follow their pages. I don't know the habits, but I don't follow their pages, but I follow their stories. When I come on Instagram, I go and search out their username. I know their username in my head. I search out their username and I go and look at what they are up to next and what they are up to at the moment. So people might not follow, your clients might not follow you, especially you know that the purpose of telling your stories, even though you want followers, yes, but most importantly, you want clients, you want money. Most of the people that will give you money, they might not follow you, but they will follow your stories. They might not follow your Instagram account, but they will follow your story. So that is why you should not be too focused on your follower count, but be focused on your stories, the kind of stories that you're putting out. So another stories that you can tell is client success story. Now, not only client success story, but also your wins. Your client success story can also be your win. When you sign a client, you can talk about it. If you're okay with talking about it, oh my God, I just signed this client and this is how it went. And you know that when people, have you heard the phrase that people give people that are already making money more money? Yeah, people give it. People give people that are already making money more money. If people see that people are hiring you, they will hire you. Do you get my point? If people see that people are hiring you, they will hire you because they feel like that person that hired you must have seen something in you that made them hire you. So why not try you out also? So when you get a client, don't keep it to yourself and say, oh, thank God, now I have to. Tell the stories. Tell the story of how that client came to you, of how you onboarded the client. And when you tell that story finish, and then you've worked with this client and you people have now have results, you have had results, or the client drop a testimonial for you or whatever, tell the story again. Tell the story, like tell the story of your work processes, what you did for these clients, the transformation you helped these clients to achieve. Tell the stories. Tell the story of where the client was, what you did for the client, and where the client is right now. Is a story. Another story that you should be telling is behind the scenes story. Like behind the scenes story, or all those watch me create a content calendar, watch me talk to my clients, all those, your workspace, what goes on behind the scenes of your work, you can share them also. Your client objections, share them. Even if your client made a complaint about your work, you can share it. It just makes people see that this person is authentic, this person is vulnerable, this person is transparent. Yeah, this person is transparent, and people want to work with honest, transparent people. So when you tell your stories, your stories pass a messaging about your personality, about who you are. Your story tells your audience about your personality, your messaging, about who you are. So if you win a client, you said, oh, this is how I won a client. You lose a client, you say, oh, this is how I lost a client. People will see that, oh, this person is such a transparent person, such a vulnerable person, and they want to work with you because they feel like they will not lose their money if they work with you, because you are honest about what you do. Please, can you still hear me clearly? Can you hear me clearly? Let me know. I've told you, you don't
Yeah.
wait till you arrive. You can hear me clearly?
Yes. Yes. I can hear you
All
clearly.
right. All right. Thank you. So you don't wait till you have arrived. You don't wait till you have arrived. You don't wait till you have 100 clients. You don't wait till you have 5 clients. You have 10 clients. You have 20 clients. Your one client is a story. Even your no client is a story. I've seen people on LinkedIn tell stories about, oh, how they lost their job and how they are now open for job, and they package it into storytelling. And I'm telling you that they got clients within few weeks, within few days, within few hours of putting up that content. Stories stories get people to connect with you in a way that just putting out mere content will not connect. So it moves me to the next thing that I would like to talk about, and which is where to use your stories. Where are you going to put your stories? Because trust me, it is not only in videos that you can put stories. It's not only in videos that you can put your stories. There are other places that you can put your stories apart from doing a vlog, apart from doing TikTok series or Instagram series. They are a good way of creating content. Yes, you have to put your stories in your videos, your stories in your TikTok videos, in your Instagram videos. But another place you can put your stories is in your Instagram caption. You can tell a story through your Instagram caption. You can put up a picture and tell a story under that picture, but the picture should be relating to your story. You can say it in your reels. You can put stories in your reels. I've said that. On your sales page and your website, like that, your link in bio, that will now, like when you say, oh, click my link in bio to work with me. When people click your link in bio, say your story there too. Like, say your stories on your sales pages. Say if you have a website, your stories should be on your website. You know that when people see your Instagram page, it's just the first stage in your marketing system. They've not bought from you. All they've seen is your content. So when they see your content, what next? So at every point in time that they are making a connection with you, that they are seeing you. For example, they leave your content to go to your link in bio. They must still feel that connection in your link in bio. You must not lose them. You must not lose them. If your content brought them in, your sales page must not put them away. So you must not lose them. You must ensure that as you're telling your stories in your Instagram, in your Instagram captions and reels, you are also saying your stories on your sales pages and on your website. If you use email newsletters, you should say your stories in your newsletters. If you use WhatsApp, if you use WhatsApp to promote yourself, you should be telling your stories on your WhatsApp status. If you use Instagram stories, you should be telling your stories on your Instagram. If you are the type that you get on discovery calls with your clients before they work with you should be telling your stories on your discovery call. You should be telling your stories on your discovery call. Even when they ask you, what do you do? Tell your story. Like, tell your story, because story will make, if I could have just say, oh, I'm a marketing expert, and I could take them through a stage of me being, oh, this is where I was before. Okay, I really just found the internet when I was struggling to make ends meet. I knew that the corporate were like waking up 9 a.m. to come back home, waking up 5 a.m. to come back home 10 p.m. is not just for me. And I wanted some way, because I feel like the kind of woman I want to be is the kind of woman that is available for her husband and her kids. I mean, in terms of availability, being at home, taking care of my children. I want to be hands on and working a 10, working a job where I leave my house 5 a.m. in the morning to come back 10 p.m. in the night is just not for me. And so I decided to go on the internet and look for other ways to make money. So I started by helping people design graphics, then I moved to helping people build sales pages, then but now I help people sell. I ensure that business owners sell and make sales from their business. Like, I've taken them through a story of what actually brought me into the social media space and where I am right now, and I've just in that way told them what I do. Every story is a bridge. I want you to see every story as a bridge. A bridge between what? A bridge between your experience and your client's needs. A bridge between what you are going through and what other people are going through. A bridge between what you have overcome and what people are still going through. Your story is a bridge. Your story is a bridge between your experience and your client's needs, between what you've overcome and what your client is going through. So this brings me to positioning through story, like how to actually position yourself through story. I've talked about stories, stories, stories. How do you position yourself now through your storytelling? One thing I want you to know is, number one is, don't stop telling us what you do. Stop telling us that you are a copywriter. Stop telling us that you are a social media manager or you are a graphics designer. Start telling us why graphics design matter. Start telling us why copywriting matter. Start telling us why social media matter. Start telling us why working with you matters. That is how you position yourself as a go-to expert. That is how you build that is how you build authority. That is how you build authority through your stories. Stop telling us why we should do this. Stop saying that this is what you do, and start showing us why we should do it. The transformation that will happen to our lives if we do it, wrap it in your stories. That's one thing. Tell us why what you do matter. Tell us what you've learned. Like, tell us about your experience. Tell us about your mistake. Tell us about your wins. Tell us about what you've learned, your experience. Tell us about it. That is another way that you position yourself. And the last way that you can position yourself is to tell us who you've helped and how. I've helped this person to do this, and this is how I helped them. I took this person from this place to this place, and this is how I did it. That is how to position yourself through stories. I'll take that again. Tell us why what you do matter. Like that lady that I told you that was creating a self-care brand for hormonal imbalance women, for women that experience hormonal imbalance. She told us why it matters. She told us that there are a lot of women that they go through hormonal imbalance, and this is how it has affected their lives. This is how it's also affected her own life because she also experiences hormonal imbalance. Now she has told us why she's doing what she does, the inspiration behind what she's doing, what brought her here. She has told us all of that. Tell us what you've learned, your experience. Oh, I lost a client. This is what happened. Oh, I got on a course. This is what I learned on that course. Oh, I had a session with this person. This is what I was in a conference. This is what opened my mind. I made a mistake. This is what I learned. Do you understand? Tell us your experience. Tell us what you learned. Tell us your struggle. Tell us what you're doing. Then tell us who you've helped, because people want to see that you've helped people and how you've helped them. Oh, I worked with Mr. A, and this is what I helped Mr. A achieve. Oh, Mr. B was here when I met her or when I met him, and this is what we did, and this is where Mr. B is now. That is what she should be telling us. So people can list credentials. Have you seen people's CV before? Oh my God. I think I hired last year for some position. I hired for a social media manager. I hired for a virtual assistant. And I hired people that I thought their portfolio was good, their CV was great. But when we got on the team, I realized that they are not what they put in their credentials. So anyone can list credentials, and especially in the creative space, people don't care about your credentials anymore. People now care about your results. They care about you, about what you can do for them, about what you can achieve for them. So people don't care about your credentials. Your story is what makes your brand unforgettable. Let me tell you something. You might be a university graduate, and you might not be making money as much as someone that just went to secondary school but has built their brand on storytelling. It is not about how much you know right now. You might have taken courses on Coursera, taken on Udemy, bought a lot of expensive courses, and you are not still making money the way somebody that just took a free course and started building their brand. They are making money. You might not be making money as much as they are doing, because people don't care about what you've learned. People don't care about your certification. They don't care about your Coursera certificate or your Udemy certificate. They care about your story. They care about you. So it's your story that will make your brand unforgettable. It's what makes your brand, it's what imbibe you in your audience mind. I'm telling you, if I have somebody that experiences hormonal imbalance tomorrow and they're looking for self-care products, I know where to send them. Like, I've not seen that girl's content in a few weeks now, maybe in like 2, 3, 4 weeks now, but I still remember her. I still remember her. That is what storytelling does to you. It brings me to another part of this, which I'm going to use to round up, is mistakes to avoid when you are telling your story. Because I've told you, oh, say your story, say your struggle, say your this thing, say your that thing. But you can still be doing it the wrong way, even if you're doing it. So it's mistakes to avoid when you are telling your stories. And all these mistakes, it can be easy to fall into them because now you are sharing your life. It can be easy to, fall into mistakes here if you don't know how to go about it. So number one mistakes I would say is don't overshare without a point. Don't just say stories because they ask you to say stories. Don't say stories because they ask you to what? Because they ask you to say stories. Say stories because there is a point you're trying to bring out from that story. Don't just say stories that does not have points. Don't just say story that at the end of the day people cannot really figure out what you are trying to say. They cannot really figure out the point you are trying to drive. Don't overshare without a point. Don't just dap yap 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 without trying to. I used to tell one of my friends, like, you say a lot of things, but you say nothing at the same time. People that talk too much, they say a lot of things and they say nothing at the same time because they don't talk. But by the time you look at all they've been saying since morning, no point. No point. It does not have head, it does not have tail. So don't turn to people that just talk, saying one here, saying one there, just saying all of these things. Have a point. Let us know that you're trying to drive home a point. Don't just share without a point. That is the number one trap you should avoid. Number two, don't make your story all about you. Yes, we've known that you say your win, you say your this, you say your that. But at the end of the day, do not make this your stories all about you. Don't make it about you. Yes, presently I'm sharing my struggle. I'm sharing on my social media. I'm sharing my journey into becoming the woman that God has want me to be. Right? I am telling my story. I'm sharing every day, everything I do, the struggles I face, my habits that I'm changing. I'm sharing it. But one thing I make sure I'm doing is I make sure that this story is not all about me. I make sure I'm saying that, oh, if you are also like me, you are struggling with all of these things, follow me on my journey. Let's see how this journey turns out so that you will also know that your own life too can be transformed, just like my life is going to be transformed. Although I'm talking about me, but I'm not creating for me. Yes, I'm telling my story, but I'm not creating for me. I'm creating for people like me that are going through what I am going through, and they also want the transformation that I am working on. Because that's why I told you that your stories does not necessarily have to be in one content. My story is not in one content. I am taking people through a journey, a transformation journey. Do you understand me? I'm rebuilding my life and I'm taking people through the rebuilding. It's a way to show them that come and see the way I'm rebuilding my life right now. This is what I'm struggling with. These are my habits. And so if you are in this stage with me, we can do it together. Or by the time I finish this journey, because I know personal development journey never ends. But by the time I go through a stage and I start recording my wins and I start telling you my wins, you would have also come to the realization that, oh, if this girl can do this, I can too. So stop making your stories all about you. Make sure that there is something that people have to gain. There is something that would connect to people. You've watched some movies and you're like, what the fuck? I just wasted my money, my time. And you've seen some movies that it really speaks with you. It's because they evoke emotions. They brought out your emotions, not their own emotions, your own emotions. That is the audience. So your stories should not be all about you. Please give me a moment. Sorry about that. The noise from outside was becoming too much. All right, so let's go to the next mistakes that you need to avoid. Don't just post stories to vent, because I know social media, if you are telling your, especially your struggle, if you are saying your struggle, it can easily turn to ranting. It can easily turn to something that you're just complaining. Don't just tell your stories to just vent. Don't just tell your stories to just vent. Please give me a minute. This noise is like a lot.
Okay, like I hope you're learning. Joyce is so full of lessons. And I love her passion. I love how she's passionate about this. After this class, I'm going to start sharing a lot of stories. I'm going to re strategize. I hope you're going to do the same too, because this is an eye opener. If you've watched this extent, if you've watched this far, I want to say congratulations. We need to give you a certificate. Okay, Joyce, welcome back. I was just saying that I love your energy. You're so passionate about this. And anybody who has watched to this extent needs to get a certificate on storytelling.
I'm telling you.
As in, me personally, I'm going to be writing my stories differently after this class. Thank you
Wow,
so
you
much. You
should.
can continue. You can
You
continue.
should. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I was saying that don't just post your stories to vent, to rant. Tie them back to your message. When you post a struggle, tie it back to your message. When you post a win, tie it back to your message. You post your client success, tie it back to your messaging. You post your origin, your story, how you started. Of course, tie it back to your message. Don't just post for posting. Do just tell stories for telling stories' sake. Remember that the point is not to gather followers. The point is to make sure that you're actually attracting the right people that care about you and that care about your brand, and they are going to buy from you at a point. So make sure that your stories are tied back to your message. Then the last mistake that you should avoid is stop confusing your audience with disconnected stories, like stories that does not relate. I said it earlier that find a way that your story will relate with your brand. Find a way that your story will relate with your messaging. Don't just post stories that is nobody's business. Don't post stories that is nobody's business. Don't post stories that does not relate to your messaging, does not relate to your positioning, does not relate to your branding. No. Don't post stories of how you went to the market, except if you're a lifestyle content creator. How you went to the market yesterday and what you bought in the market when you are a copywriter. But let's say you learned something in the market, maybe from a market woman, and you want to discuss that, because of course copywriting is part of marketing, and you want to discuss, oh, this is what you learned from this market woman when it comes to marketing. Your story has now, it has now connected, it has now relate. But say telling us that you went to market to buy tomatoes, peppers and all of that, when you're not a lifestyle creator, it does not relate. One question you should always ask when you're creating your stories is, what do I want them to feel? What do I want my audience to think? Or what do I want my audience to do after they hear my story? What do I want them to feel? What do I want them to think? And what do I want them to do? That's the question you should, when you're creating your stories, that's the question that will guide you towards creating the right stories. What do I want my audience to feel? What do I want my audience to think? And what do I want my audience to do? So I've told you before, your story is already inside you. Don't wait till you have the right gears. Don't wait till you have aesthetic pleasing environment, house. Don't wait till you have the right wardrobe. Don't wait till you have the right hairstyle. Like all of that does not matter. Where will you see the money to furnish your apartment if you are not creating stories? Yeah. So your story is already in you. You've lived it. You've learned from it. You've grown through it. It's now time to share your story. When you share your story, you become relatable. When you show people your journey, people trust you. When you take them through your journey, they trust you. You become trustworthy. When people see you, when you are relatable, when you trust you, they will like you. They will feel seen because they will feel like you are in close connection. They vibe with you. You are their vibe. You feel what they feel. And that is how you become their go-to. That is how you become their go-to. So I have an assignment for you, everybody on this call. As we end, I have an assignment for you today. Put together a story. Put together a story. Even if it is messy, your story does not have to be 60 seconds. Your story can be 15 seconds. Your story can be 30 seconds. It can be 60. It can be 90, depending on how long your story is, how the messaging you are trying to pass across. Your story, let me tell you something, right? This is a personal thing. This is just me being vulnerable, right? I've gone through a lot in my life, in my personal life, that one day I sat down and I'm like, I don't think all of these things I'm going through is ordinary. I feel like God wants me to go through these things because He wants other people to learn from me. Like, I'm not going to be going through all of these things and people will not know. Like, I'm coming to a stage in my life where I am coming out to tell my life story, what I've learned in my life, the mistakes I've made in my life. Because at my young age, I've made a lot of mistakes. Because I feel like my story is not for me. What I'm going through right now is not for me. And when I say, oh, I'm pivoting into a woman God has called me to be, that is just what I'm pivoting into. I'm pivoting into telling my story. I'm pivoting into showing people my life, what I've done, what I'm doing. Because I feel like I cannot go through all of this just because of me. There are other people that are in my position or that were in my position. That is it. There are some people that they are in the position that you've been before. And it is your story that will either uplift them, encourage them, or change their lives. So if you are hoarding your story, I don't want to say you are committing a sin, but if you are hoarding your story, you're not nice. Because there's some people that your story would cause a total transformation in their own lives. So write your story. It could be anything. Write it down and create something about it. It can be an Instagram post, it can be a video, it can be a TikTok post. Just create a story and share it with the group. Share it with the group. Let everybody encourage you. Let people see your stories and let people help you to share it so that you can start making impact. You can start growing from that. So post it, speak it. Like I said, your story is not just about you. It's the key to somebody else's breakthrough. It's the reason somebody will choose you tomorrow. Your story is the reason somebody will decide to work with you. Your story is the reason somebody will come on stage and say, oh my God, even if they don't work with you, they will say, when I checked your journey, when I saw your Instagram page, it totally transformed my life. When I saw this content that you put out, it totally transformed my life. Like, telling your story is more than just growing your brand. That's just what I want to close this with. telling your story is more than just growing your brand. Because even what you do, copywriting, graphics designing, the end goal of it is to the end goal of it is to change people's businesses, right? You are writing copies because you want to help people to make money, make more money. You are creating graphics design because you want people, when people see your, when you want people to be able to attract more audience and attract more sales. So you are affecting lives already, even with what you're doing. And that is just it. Your stories is not just about you growing. Your stories will help you grow your brand, yeah. But I'm telling you, your stories will change people's life. Where you are before and where you are now is somebody's what they call it, motivation, is somebody's transformation, it is what would change somebody's life, is somebody else's breakthrough. So do not audit, start telling your stories, start telling your stories. And I'm sure, I'm expecting feedback from you. I'm on the group too, so I want to see your stories. I want to see your stories. And I'm sure that this is the beginning of total transformation in your brand, total transformation in your business, and total transformation in your life. So don't sleep on it. Start taking actions right now. Don't wait till, like I said, don't wait till, start now. And that brings us an end to this session. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us. Like, we learned a lot.
My pleasure.
I personally, I learned a lot, and I'm going to implement. Seriously, I'm going to implement. Thank you,
It's my
thank you,
pleasure.
thank you for sharing with our reserve. And I really love your energy. Thank you. So if we
You're
want to
welcome.
follow
It's my
you,
pleasure. Anytime, anytime, anytime.
if we want to follow you on social media, where do we find you?
Okay, I'm on
Your
Instagram as
okay,
Joyce Ayolua. Just Joyce Ayolua.
okay, at
Joyce Ayolua.
Joyce
That's my
Ayolua.
Instagram account. I'm on TikTok. That's my Instagram. That's my TikTok account too. So yeah, together, Joyce
Okay, I
Ayolua
want I
together.
want to I want to put it up on the screen so you can see if the spelling is correct.
Okay, let me see.
Is that it?
Yes, exactly. No, it's double
Okay,
O. Ayo
okay,
Olua. Yeah, it's double O.
okay. Sorry, hold on, let me repeat. Okay, is this correct now?
Yes, yes, it
All
is.
right.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
So thank
you. We can't thank you
You're
enough.
welcome. Thank you for having me too. It was my pleasure. I really enjoyed the
You're
session too.
welcome. All
So
right.
thank you
So
so much. All right.
let's look forward to the assignment. I hope you'll be available to vet it as well.
Of course, I will go through everybody that posts their stories on the group, their links, maybe TikTok,
Okay.
Instagram. I'm going to go through everything, and I would, if I have anything to mistakes to correct or audit, I'll do that.
All
So
right.
yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you. Now we're going to end
You're
the
welcome.
live. I'm going to drop
Yeah.
the link to the group on this comment section for people that will watch. Maybe they are not from our group, they're going to watch from some other places. So they can also
Okay.
join the group.
Oh,
All
okay.
right.
That's
Take care.
awesome. All right. Bye.
Bye. That was amazing. Amazing. Okay, I just want to add the link to the group on this comment section. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. And I hope you learned something. Then on the group, we learn. It's actually a school. We learn every day. We learn every day. So join us if you're not there yet. Link. I just want to post the link to the group. It's a WhatsApp group. Every day we're learning how to build an online presence. So Joyce did a lot of expositions today, and I'm sure that if you're trying to build an online presence, you've learned a lot already. So this is the link to the group. I hope you join us. Bye.